Hello, my dear students. I am Priyanka Koiri, your science teacher, and today we are going to start a new chapter which is very interesting. And the name of the chapter is Motion. Okay, now in these few pictures, you can see all these objects, that is, aeroplane, a train, and a bird, can move from one place to another. Okay, so whenever an object changes its position, or if it is moving, that means we can say that the object are in motion. So before going to start our topic, let us try to understand how we can describe the position of an object. Okay, so before before understanding motion, we need to we need to learn how to describe the position of an object. Okay, so to describe the position, or we can say the location of an object, we need to specify a reference point called origin. Okay, so in order to locate the position of any object, we need to first specify, or we need to first ascertain a reference point, and that reference point is called your origin. Okay, for example, let us assume that a school in a village is 2 kilometers north of railway station. Okay, so we have specified the position of the school with respect to the railway station. In this example, the railway station is a reference point. Okay, so we could have chosen other reference point according to our convenience. Okay, so in this example, we are trying to locate the location of school. Okay, we are trying to locate the location of school by taking railway station as our reference point. Okay, now the first concept is your describing motion. Okay, how we will describe motion. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about motion in a straight line. Okay, motion can be of different types, but in this chapter we are going to discuss about motion in a straight line. Okay, so what is motion? As I have said, motion is defined as the change in position of body with respect to time. Okay, so as the time is changing and the position of the body is changing, that means we can say that the body is in motion. And if the position of the object does not change with time, it we can say that the object is at rest. Okay, now the two physical quantities, that is the distance and the displacement, are used to describe the overall motion of an object and to locate its final position with reference to its initial position at a given time. Okay, so in order to describe motion, if we want to describe motion, we need two physical quantities, and that two physical quantity is your distance and displacement. Okay, so what is distance and what is displacement, we will discuss in detail. Okay, so here in this picture you can see the purple line denotes your distance and the green line denotes your displacement. What exactly is distance and displacement is discussed in the next slide. Okay, so at first, what is distance? So the total path covered by an object is called distance. Okay, clear? Very simple it is. To describe distance, we need to specify only the numerical value and not the direction of the motion. Okay, in order to describe distance, we do not require the direction of the motion. Okay, like from which direction the object is coming. Okay, no matter which direction we take, any direction we take, the distance is always going to be same. Okay, so in this picture you can see there are 2 points A and B. Okay, and the straight line here denotes your distance. Okay, now displacement. Okay, so the shortest distance measured from the initial to the final position of an object is known as displacement. So displacement is the shortest distance between the initial point and the final point of an object. Okay, to describe displacement, okay, so to describe displacement we need to specify both the numerical and value and the direction of the motion. In case of displacement we need both, that is the numerical value and the direction of the motion. In this picture you can see an object is starting from point P and then it reaches point Q, and from Q it is moving to point R. Okay, fine. Now if it is asked what is the distance, then we will say that the distance will be PQ plus QR. But for displacement, the shortest distance between the starting point and the final point is PR, so that is your displacement. So in this case the displacement will be equals to PR. Okay, clear? Fine. The dotted line represents your displacement. Clear? Okay, now coming to let's take an example to understand more about distance and displacement. Okay, so if a body, in this picture you can just follow my words, if a body starts moving in a straight line from origin, that is O, and moves through C. Okay, so a body is moving starting from O and it is going to C and then B, okay, and moves through C and B and reaches A. Okay, so that means the object is starting from O and it is coming to at first to C at point C, then from C it goes to B, and from B it goes to A, and then it doesn't stop there and then moves back. Now the body is, or the object is moving back to C. Okay, it is coming back to C. Now if it is asked that what is the distance covered, so what we will say is that the distance will be, first the distance from O to A is 60 kilometer, and from A to C it is 35 kilometer, right? You can count, it is 35 kilometer. So the total distance will be 95 kilometer. And if it is asked what is the displacement, then our starting point is O and the final point is C. So the displacement will be 25 kilometer. Okay, clear? The distance is the total distance will be OA plus AC, that is 95, and displacement will be the shortest distance between the initial point and the final point, which is O and C. That means your displacement will be 25 kilometer. Okay, now let us try to understand what are the types of motion. There are various types of motion, but in this chapter we are going to discuss about only uniform and non-uniform motion. Okay, so what is uniform and non-uniform motion? If a body travels equal distance in equal interval of time, it is said to be in uniform motion. Clear? Fine. For example, rotation and revolution of earth and the blades of ceiling fan. Okay, these are the examples of uniform motion. Now if a body travels unequal distance in equal intervals of time, it is said to be in non-uniform motion. For example, a car moving in crowded street and a man jogging in the park. These are the examples of your non-uniform motion. Now let us try to understand more about uniform and non-uniform motion with the help of this diagram. So in this, the first case, you can see a body is moving from 10, like the markings given here are 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so from 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers it takes 5 minutes, and from 20 to 30 it is again taking 5 minutes, and from 30 to 40 it is again taking 5 minutes. So here the distance traveled and the time is same. Okay, so here equal distance in same interval of time is covered, that is why it is called uniform motion. Now in the second case, you can see from 10 kilometer to 35 kilometer the object is taking 10 minutes, and from 35 to 40 kilometers it is taking 10 minutes. So here for 25 kilometer it is taking 10 minutes, and then from 5 kilometer it is taking 10 minutes. That means here in same interval of time different distances are covered. Okay, so it can be said that the object is in non-uniform motion. So remember, if equal distance is covered in equal interval of time, it is uniform, and if unequal distance is covered in equal interval of time, it is called non-uniform. Okay, now our next concept is a scalar quantity and vector quantity. So what is a scalar quantity and vector quantity? A quantity that has magnitude but no particular direction is called scalar quantity. Okay, anything like which can be just described with the help of some numerical value and which does not require directions. Okay, that quantities are called scalar quantity. For example, speed, distance, mass, then temperature, all these are examples of scalar quantity. And what is a vector quantity? A quantity that has magnitude and acts in particular direction is called vector quantity. So those quantity which has magnitude, that means which has some numerical value and it acts in particular direction, that is called your vector quantity. Examples is displacement, velocity, acceleration, force. All these are examples of vector quantity. Okay, you have to remember what is a scalar quantity and what is a vector quantity. Okay, now let us try to recall what we have learned in today's class. So at first we describe motion in terms of distance and displacement, right? Okay, then we discussed about types of motion where we studied about uniform and non-uniform motion. Then we discussed about scalar quantity and vector quantity. All right, so that's all for today's class. Thank you. I will see you in the next class.